Why Game of Thrones sucks. Season 1, Episode 8, The Pointy End. This episode was terrible. It was slow, and really the only interesting things that happened within the first 5 minutes. Everything else is just set up for later. So you're just watching people walk places and talk. But I suppose we can get into it. It starts off with Arya and Syrio training, intercut with scenes of Lannister men killing everybody Ned Stark ever liked. Sansa bad-mouthing Arya, not Ario. Lannister men show up to take Arya. Syrio says you can't have her and beats the crap out of a bunch of armored knights with swords with a wooden sword. I'm thinking if he had a real sword, they'd all be dead. They really made the King's Guard look pathetically weak. It was sad. Arya gets away, finds Needle, and gets her first murder in, which was the highlight of the episode. She runs through a poor boy, and then the Sansa is taken by the Hound. We go to the dungeons where Varys visits Ned and tells him an idiot. And he is an idiot. I've been saying he's an idiot the whole time. Gives him some wine, tells him about his kids, just leaves him there. It was a small mercy, I suppose. We go into the wall, where they bring in a bunch of dead bodies from Benjen's party. Sam points out that they don't smell, so there's something wrong and we should keep them for study. They're all frozen solid, so they would not smell. This is stupid logic, but they keep them for study anyway, so they are idiots. Lord Mormont gets a raven, learns about Ned Stark, tells Jon about it, and tells him not to do anything stupid. Then it's right back to King's Landing. There is going to be a lot of bouncing around, an absurd amount of bouncing around, where Cersei makes Sansa write a letter condemning Ned as a traitor and telling Robb to come bend the knee, their favorite phrase in this show. I'm sure nothing bad can ever come of this note. Then right to Winterfell, where Robb immediately gets the letter. The postal system in Westeros is amazing. And decides that we should go to war. I'm not going to bend the knee. I'm going to go to war. Theon tells him he should be scared of going to war, which is probably the smartest thing Theon has ever said and will ever say. I hate him. Goes to the Eyrie, where Catelyn meets with her crazy idiot sister and tries to get her to help Robb in the war effort. She says no. Catelyn gets all pissed. Then right to Tyrion and Bronn leaving. The Hill tribes show up. Tyrion talks him out of killing him. It's really just a lot of walking and talking and talking and walking and walking and talking, and Jesus Christ. I had to stop halfway through the episode and start over. It is so boring. This is the worst. We go back to the wall where Sir Alliser taunts Jon Snow about his father, and Jon tries to knife him, which is exactly the kind of stupid thing Lord Mormont was talking about, which Lord Mormont comes and tells him that, and grounds him. Go to your room. No supper. These are not grown men. Jon goes to his room, then immediately leaves his room, goes and finds Lord Mormont about to be attacked by the risen dead, fights him off, burns one. All of his stupidity is apparently forgiven at this point. He did disobey a direct order here, though. They maybe should have done something about that. We go over to the Dothraki, who are wiping out a village raping all of the women, killing the men, enslaving the children. These are the good guys. We're supposed to be rooting for Daenerys, is the impression I get. But I don't see why you would. But she does stop them from murdering and raping more, although it seems like a case of too little too late here. And claims all the women for her own, which the Dothraki take umbrage to. They go to Khal Drogo. He supports his wife. I don't know why you'd think he wouldn't. There's a challenge to his power, and he drops all of his weapons and just murders the guy with his bare hands. Rips his tongue out through his throat. It was neat, but they're still just ignorant, pathetic savages. I hate the Dothraki. I hate Dany. Then she trusts the recently raped and beaten witch to take care of him. I'm sure that'll all go well. Back to Winterfell, where the great Jon says if he can't lead the van, he'll leave. He gets into a scuffle with Robb. His direwolf bites his fingers off. There are moments of fun stuff in here and some violence. But for the amount of boredom that you have to suffer through to get to them, it's not worth it. There must be 3 whole minutes of interesting stuff in this hour-long episode. The credits are more interesting than most of this. We go back to the wall where they're burning the whites. Gee, wish someone had suggested that before they almost killed Jon and Lord Mormont. Oh wait, they did. Sam stopped them. And now Sam is dropping all kinds of knowledge about the White Walkers on him. Well, if you knew this stuff, maybe you should have had us burn the bodies in the first place, you fat imbecile. God damn it. Some of the stuff they do makes no sense. Caitlin has teleported from the Eyrie to Robb's war camp, mostly to tell him that she wishes he was back in Winterfell and all the Lannisters are evil. She adds nothing, and she is actively annoying. In contrast, Tyrion arrives at Tywin's war camp. Tyrion is at least awesome, but this scene is mostly just Tywin telling him he's a failure for getting caught in the first place and that he sucks. What a father figure. Back to Robb's war camp, just way too much bouncing around. They consolidate some of this crap. Jesus Christ. They're planning the war, which they probably should have hammered out by now already. They're halfway to where they're going. But what the hell? He brings in an enemy scout. Robb asks him what he knows. It's not much. He lets him go. It's kind of a nothing scene where the great Jon is irritating some more. I think the whole point of these scenes is to point out that the great Jon is irritating. Awesome. We know. We could see him. You look at him and you know he's a dick. And then it's to King's Landing, where Joffrey and Cersei are holding court. Joffrey's on the Iron Throne. They fire Barristan Selmy, probably for gross competence, since I'm pretty sure he could have taken care of Syrio, unlike the 5 guys you sent. So why not let him go? He's embarrassing the incompetence. And then it goes to a plea from Sansa for mercy for her father, which Joffrey says he accepts as long as Ned confesses and acknowledges he's the king. And Joffrey is a good guy, so I'm sure that'll all go well. And then we roll credits. I breathe a huge sigh of relief. I'm glad it's over. Next week I have to do another one. It's almost painful to think about. Hopefully they start getting better.